Welcome to WVTC TV Network, capturing family moments in real time, bringing families closer together from the comforts of home. We are unleashing something different to the world. Start your subscription today for the low price of $4.99 per month or $55 annually. Go to www.wvtctvnetwork.com to sign up today. WVTC TV Network is streaming live on 8 different platforms. You can easily download the WVTC TV Network app on the Apple Store, Play Store, Roku, Fire TV, and more. Here at WVTC TV, we have access to movies that everyone can enjoy, including independent films, Sons of a Preacher and a Good Thing, Treasures of Life, the epic drama, The Passion of the Christ, and the box office hit Madagascar Escape to Africa. Remember, go to www.wvtctvnetwork.com and sign up today.
I'm Annette Harris, and we're missing our other co-host on today, so let's say a prayer from Michi Birds, and hopefully she's watching. But we are back. We are going to talk with a wonderful woman of God. I have just made my acquaintance on this morning, and I'm so excited to talk with her because I read her bio, and she's got some great things going on. As Gerald Montgomery said earlier, she is someone you need to know. Welcome, Lamika, and am I pronouncing it right?
Lamikia. People say Lamika all the time.
I gotta get that I in there.
Lamika, yes.
Welcome to Windy City Podcast.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Life is great, purposeful, and full.
All right. You're looking good.
Thank you.
And her last name is Davis, in case you all wanted to know. Some of you all may be looking at this, and she may be a familiar face to you. But we're going to talk to her today about what she does and why it is important for you to get to know her. I'm going to read a little bit of her bio. She is a wealth strategist that's dedicated to mentoring youth and women, and she's passionate about promoting financial literacy. Now, I stopped right there because you had me right there. Okay, we're talking about financial literacy. But she has over 20 years of experience in leading some of the leading Fortune 500 banking and financial industry companies across the globe. She's helped women break financial barriers and obtain generational wealth. Now, I want to stop right here because there are a couple of questions I want to ask you, just a little bit about what we just read. Now, it mentioned that you have a passion about the financial literacy, but your focus is on youth. Tell me why. Why is the focus on youth?
That's a great question. So back when I was about 11 years old, my mom ended up having stage 4 breast cancer. And it's okay. She's still alive today. So, hey, Mom, if she's watching. And because of it, we ended up losing everything because it was so bad. Okay. And so when I became of age, I wanted to give back because we were homeless and just there are children and kids just like in the predicament that I was in. And so I wanted to give back. And I started a nonprofit organization, actually, and I teach and train youth in financial literacy and homelessness prevention.
Okay, all right. And you know what? That is so important, especially in our community. We don't really, sometimes we don't sit down to learn, and then you don't have many that teach it. So my hat is off to you with that.
Thank you. And you know what? One other thing I wanted to add was working in banking over the last 20 plus years. Okay. I was the only minority in a Caucasian male environment. And I saw how they put their children and their family in great financial shape. And I wanted to do the same. And so that's why that's another reason why I wanted to teach and train youth and single parents and how to secure the bag pretty much.
All right now. Secure that bag. But you know, that's so important because, you know, like you said, you were working in that industry. Now, I'm sure were many others that worked in that industry, but they didn't have that mindset. Okay, I see what they're doing for theirs. Let me try and do that for ours. So, I think that that's key and
Mhm.
important to moving forward in life and getting what we want, secure that bag.
Mhm. And I started with my children first. I
Okay.
said, let me try this out on my own kids. And my son, who's actually graduating from college in May, he graduated from high school with almost an 800 credit score because of the work that I did with him.
Oh, you have any applications for me to be your child?
He's also graduating with no debt. I paid that last
See?
payment on that tuition, so no debt. He's graduating
No
with
debt.
zero debt.
Are you guys already starting to see why we say she's someone you should know? Because
Thank you.
that is a huge accomplishment right there. So I appreciate you for the
Oh,
journey
thank
that
you.
you're
My
taking
pleasure.
to do this. Now, there are many more much more to your resume
Mhm.
and your bio. But do me this favor.
Sure.
Tell me a fun fact about yourself.
It's so many. I was born with 11 fingers. I had 11 fingers when I was born.
Yeah.
So I've always been different. It was God's intentions for me to be different and stand out. However, my mom was like, I don't want you talked about, so she had one cut off, but I still have the feeling in that I had another thumb, so I still had a feeling in it and everything.
Really?
Mhm.
Now that's a very interesting fact. I don't think I've ever come across anyone who has had
11
that.
fingers. I was waving like that.
I'm glad you can laugh about it now.
Yes. And I'm appreciative for my mom for definitely getting that thumb cut off, because I definitely, I don't know what a manicure probably would have been an extra few dollars for me.
See? She got just. But you know what? Okay, so how old were you when you had the procedure done?
I think close to 1.
Oh, so you it was real early. Okay. I was we can do that. Not okay. I thought maybe you were a little bit older. or something.
No. So I don't remember it. I only saw it in pictures.
Oh, wow.
Well, I have the feeling, like I said, if I touch over here on this thumb, I definitely have feeling. It's a nerve there.
Okay.
So I know something was there.
Okay. Now, when you first said that, I didn't want to look down at your hands.
Oh, yeah, it's here.
Okay, all right. Wonderful. Okay, that is a big
Yes, it is.
Thanks for sharing that with us. So, what is your passion? I can imagine it might be literacy, financial literacy, but if we were to meet you in an elevator, can you give us an elevator pitch about yourself?
I'm glad that I got that pre-question because I typed it right here. I'm terrible with remembering things. So it says, I am Lamikia Davis, an elected official, a strategist, financial consultant, business coach, and community advocate. As an African-American woman, minister, and mother, wife as well, I empower individuals and organizations to walk in purpose, build sustainable wealth, and create lasting impact. Whether through my nonprofit work, my business ventures, or leadership roles, my goal is always to connect, uplift, and transform lives.
All right, now. Okay, well, you had me. And, if you were in the elevator, I'd be like, okay, here comes. Do they do cards anymore? But
I keep a card.
Information.
I keep a card with a little QR code on the back, so just people can just scan it.
Okay, that's smart because actually, I think that's the way we're going now. The QR codes and everything. Trying to make sure we are staying on top of the industry and making sure we contact people. Wow, that's great. I love it. I absolutely love it. So, what has been? You mentioned about being an African American woman. What has been some challenges that you have faced in this industry, or anything else you've faced challenges with?
I've had to work hard to get where I am. Break through barriers as a woman, number one, as someone who is an African American working, like I said, in a predominantly Caucasian environment. Yeah. So I've had to break a lot of barriers and overcome fear of failure, fear of not being adequate, not being efficient, not being enough. And so I've had to definitely break that barrier.
Okay. Where do you think that fear came from?
That's a great question. it's the devil, okay? That's what
Right.
that's number one, okay?
Exactly.
But the Bible said God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind.
Mhm.
But I think he kind of crept in just by experiences in my life and not knowing what would happen next, especially like during the time of homelessness, being a kid and not knowing what's going on. And then we were unfortunately place to place. And so not knowing what my next is, I think that kind of came along with me, and I had to overcome that.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Yeah, a lot of times our past experiences or how we've come along will kind of link on to and make you fearful, like you said, the unknown.
Yes.
You don't know what's coming next. I want to sidetrack a little bit.
Sure.
You mentioned that you were the only African American woman in a white male industry working there. Did you come across, how we as Black women, we know we faced it, so much, the angry Black woman syndrome, or them saying, or if you were to stand up for yourself, or did you come across any of that?
No, because I was intentional about having the reputation of not being an angry Black woman. So because I knew that it was expected of me, I was very intentional about it. And now I felt it rising up many times, and I had to like stop myself, go pray or counter something or cry, scream somewhere. But no, I have not had that experience. Actually, my background is very much so in customer service and community and being kind. So I've been known to be that person. Now I might be different when I'm at home.
Right.
They might get the other side of it, but outside in the public, I've been known to be really, really nice and kind.
Okay.
And especially in politics. Being in politics is a beast on its own. And a Christian woman in politics is not the easiest thing either. And so it takes a lot of prayer and a lot of hard work to beat the norm.
Right. Okay. We're going to get into talking about the politics, a little bit further in. But yeah, that's interesting. I only ask that question because sometimes, working in corporate America, a lot of times as Black women, we may have we set ourselves a certain way, like you said, you made sure that you weren't, doing the outbursts or anything like that. But it seems like as soon as you try to speak up for yourself, not in an angry way, that's what they will try to label us.
Now, don't get me wrong. I have spoken up for myself, but it's been in a very nice, matter-of-fact way to where it's like, don't play with me. No, stop, and I get on their level, and so I've definitely checked a few people in the course of time. Okay.
I love it. I absolutely love it. You give me some advice to many that are in corporate America now, how to make sure that we answer and do accordingly. Now I know we see a few different viewers that are watching us. We appreciate you guys for coming in. Thanks so much. I see Gerald Miller says Grand Rising, Windy City. Thank you for coming in. Franklin Morris, of course, says good morning, all.
Good morning.
And we just appreciate each of you for coming in. If you are wouldn't mind, go ahead and share this. Share it out. You can always watch it later, the recorded session. But we are live now. So I'm grateful you guys are here with us to talk with Lamikia.
There you are.
All right, so I have another question for you.
Sure.
So you mentioned, of course, about you being a devoted wife and mother. So how do you balance this? Because you got a lot going on.
Listen, that's another great question, and I'm managing day to day. I'm not gonna say I have it all figured out.
Okay.
Because there's not enough time in the day for everything that I do. I not only have a business, but I also lead a blood bank. And so I'm the executive director there on top of my obligations at church and my obligations at home. And then I'm raising scholars, 2 amazing My son is 21. My daughter is 16.
Your son
She's
is
in the
21.
yes, he's
Sis,
21.
you don't look like it.
All right, don't make me blush. Don't make me blush.
Awesome.
Thank you. Yes, he's 21. My daughter, she's a junior in high school. She's in the top 3%. I already had some offers from Yale. So it's a lot. It's a lot to juggle. And prayer is number one. I definitely have a big prayer life. I pray all the time. I have to pray. I talk to Jesus all day long. Okay. When I'm tired, when I'm weak, when I want to be that angry Black woman,
Right.
I have to pray. And then I have a strong support system. So I'm able to call a friend or just, whoever to just get something off of my chest. I have mentors, I have coaches, I have a therapist, I have all of those things. One thing I do wish that I could do more often, that's one of my goals this year, is working out.
Okay.
Because I think that'll help me as well, just to be able to let the blood flow. Okay, my friend's been trying to get me to go work out with her, and I keep saying, okay, I put it on my calendar, and then something comes up. I'm like, oh, I forgot I had to do that. So I'm going to be intentional about working out. Okay. But I'm also a health person. So one of my hobbies is herbal. Yeah, so I studied that, and I kind of eat healthy. I don't eat beef, pork. Okay. Very little chicken, so I try to stay healthy with what I eat. So it's a combination of a lot of things to help me balance everything that I have.
Okay. Well, the first thing or the main thing I heard was that you pray.
Yes.
And I believe that will help you to balance out everything. I will give you the direction and instruction. But my goodness, girl, you wear so many. I can't. I'm gonna keep saying that throughout this part. You wear so many.
I have a couple of assistants, admin, executive director. I have. I need to. Right. But yeah, I have. It's really important to have a team and also have people smarter than you on your team.
Come on now.
Because everybody can't be on your level. You got to have some people that and not be intimidated by that.
There you go.
So sometimes we are intimidated by people who are smarter than us. And I'm telling you, I'm not, if you're smarter than me and you know something I don't, I would love to have you in my circle.
See, that's beautiful. That's good. That shows your humility. That's really what that shows. I'm seeing some more comments. I don't know if we can flash them on the screen. I see Latrice Dixon is speaking. She says, hi, everyone.
Hi, Latrice.
And Felice Kimbrough says, very proud.
Felice. Right. Felice is a mogul in media, and she does all of what you see, my media work, my press kits and flyers and anything. That's what she does. So wonderful. she's supporting as a friend, but also working because she's telling me, do this, do that, don't forget this. So hey, Felice, thank you. I love you.
Beautiful. You have to have people like that in your corner, that's for sure. I see Joni Ray Montgomery has joined us. Hey, family.
Hey, Joni.
Windy City Gospel Music Radio says Lamikia Davis is someone you should know. Yes,
thank you.
For sure. And I'm thinking, as I'm asking you these questions, of course, we're in Black History Month, and honey, you are giving some hit. This is her story, okay?
Yes.
Her story.
Yes.
I love it. So I know that we kind of talked about this a little bit, but talk about maybe what kind of catapulted you into this area from whether was it a personal hardship that you endured to make you become this strategist, this wealth strategist today, and talking about financial literacy?
So it's a couple of things that kind of catapult me. I was tired of being regular. Mm-hmm. And so I said, wait a minute now, God put too much in me to be in this place right here, and I took a class at a church that I was attending. Briefly, I attended a church, and the class was New Beginnings. And it was required of all people who were new to the church. Okay. And it was it was life-changing because we had to read the book Brand New Beginnings. And in the book, it was basically talking about how to overcome old thought processes and the way you thought about life and things like that. And so I began to read the book, and one of the requirements in that class at the church was to sit with the prophets and sit in a room where they was speaking to your life and build you up and that kind of stuff. And it was like three months. You had to go every week, twice a week, Sunday and on a weekday. And that kind of, opened my eyes to another, everybody in the place were entrepreneurs, and they was successful in what they were doing. And it was just, which is important, you have to surround yourself with people who are where you want to go.
Yes.
And being in that environment kind of put something in me, kind of put a spark in me. And so from there, I set out to better myself and to get into entrepreneurship. And, I'm a creative person. So I'm always thinking of something. That's why I had to get a team, because I'm like, oh, I want to do this. If I thought it, I did it. And so one of my admins, Ashley, hey Ashley, if she's listening, she was like, wait, let me get this together, and we do one thing at a time. And so she kind of helped me build and break through in some business areas, because I focused on one thing, and then once we got that one thing together, we moved on to the next. So that's it.
All right, well, that's good. You need something to kind of push you into things. And I'm sitting up here thinking, man, I wish I had that.
I had never seen that in anywhere before, and that was that is much needed. I don't know if they still do it now, but I hope they do, because that really kind of changed directions for me.
Right. Now, how long after, because you started your businesses from that? Yeah.
So I had the nonprofit already, and I was content with that, and I was working my 9-to-5 in banking. And I was making good money.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a problem with it. But then when they were my bosses would start telling me what I could and could not do. It was like, okay, now it's time to move, because you're not getting ready to tell me what to do. Okay. And I got tired of that. And I missed out on my son, a lot of things, because in banking, you had to be available during peak times of the month. And if it was something going on, and he was in everything, karate, football, basketball, I mean, you name it, I had him in it. And so being able to be a part of that and sometimes have to miss that, it was like, okay, now I can't do this anymore. And so I just was like, enough is enough, and quit. I quit that good paying 9-to-5 banking job. I quit and went into business for myself and just trust God.
And where was that fear at that point?
It was out the door, because that New Beginnings class knocked fear out, and the intercessors praying with you and different things like that, which was needed. And that's to be honest with you, I never sat down and thought about when that fear left. And it was actually in being a part of that time, being in that New Beginnings class.
It had to be, because for you to quit a job like that,
I quit it.
You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? My husband, when I was getting ready to quit, I said, I want to quit my job. And he was like, I said, well, I hear God saying that I need to quit. And so he said no. But then later on, he came back. He said, I trust the God in you. You've always been someone who heard from God. And he said, I trust the God in you. And he allowed me to quit.
See? Had your back.
He had my back. Yes, he did.
As the head of the house. So
yes. Yes.
Oh, I love this. Now we're going to talk maybe in the next session or a little bit later. We want to talk a little bit more about the politics, but I want to ask you now. You mentioned about your children, 21-year-old and 16-year-old, right?
Yes.
Right? Okay. So what was their mentality when you were trying to cultivate and teach them? Were they accepting, receiving? Did they have to get to a point?
No, because it was something that I've done with them since they got here. So it was a way of life. It was not anything unnatural and not normal, because they just knew, I was always, the mom who was pushing in school, and I'm showing up to the meetings, and I'm, they know mom don't play. I'm a stickler on school and work and things like that. So I definitely so no, it was not hard for them. It's been really easy. Now my son, I think he was the first to be he and I, we grew up together. So it was probably a little harder for him.
Okay.
But now he's realizing it's paying off.
Right. Okay. Well, that's wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful. So your nonprofit, what's the name of it?
The Hey Girl Foundation. Yes,
that's that.
Yes, Hey Girl.
Hey Girl. That's what I like. Okay, so can we talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Yes. So the Hey Girl Foundation has been we are a 501c3.
Okay.
Teach and train young adults. My desire and my goal is to have a transitional living house facility, community center. So right now it's just career. We talk about career things. We take you on college tours. We teach, like I said, financial literacy. We do toy and coat drives and things like that. Just giving back to youth.
Okay. And how long has that been in existence?
2013.
2013. Okay.
2013, we became a nonprofit just with the state. And then in 16 or 17, we became a 501.
Okay. All right. I love it. Now, is your daughter helping you with the?
Yes, she does. She actually helps and she teaches financial literacy. Well, she used to. Right now she's in speech, and so that she's in speech, she's an AP student, and so her days are full Monday through Saturday.
Okay.
So she's not available to do anything outside of school, but Sundays, if something's going on, she definitely helps.
Right. I'm sure you make sure she focus on her school. I love it.
Yes, 4.6 GPA.
Yes.
Bragging on my baby girl because she's just 4.6 GPA, and she's in the National Honor Society. She's in the National Forensic Association. She's. I'm very proud of her.
I'm proud of her.
She wanted to listen in. I said, no, you need to be in school.
Oh, bless her heart. Okay, all right. Wonderful.
My son is probably. I think my son is listening. He's in Tennessee.
Okay.
So hey, son.
And when is he graduating?
May,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so do you mind sharing the school?
Tennessee State University.
Oh, so he's at TSU.
Okay. He's at TSU, and I'm so glad he's coming on out of there because
I know
we have new leadership, and I just need him to come on out.
Well, we're praised my goodness. I had a relative that attended TSU, but they actually transferred last year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad they did. So
to a PWI?
No, it's another HBCU.
So okay.
I can't remember.
Okay. But the funding for our HBCUs right now is being threatened. Yes. And so it's just time to pray.
It is. It really is. It really is. Well, you know what? I'm
Don't tell me 30 minutes have gone by already.
Well, you know,
wow.
Well, we're going to prepare to take a break and have you guys listen to some music. But we're going to come back and talk to Lamikia on today. And you don't want to miss this because when we talk about, we just got to mention about, the new administration we're in, but we're going to talk a little bit about politics and her passion in that area. So we'll take a break and we'll come right back for more of Windy City Podcast.
Well, what's going on, big bro? Nothing much, making sure I got everything for tonight. Oh, so he's coming now. He's coming. So, you told me this about 2 weeks ago, man. All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
What's wrong with you?
This is the third time that they done called me and told me I could do this gig. They called me 2 weeks ago, sent me all these songs in advance, told me to be a rehearsal, told me to do all of this stuff and all of this in preparation for this concert, and now all of a sudden they drama coming. This is the third time, mama.
You gotta look at the positive, okay? Our timing is not God's timing. God's timing is not our timing. You gotta wait. Maybe something better is gonna come along. Maybe they wasn't gonna appreciate your gift. We can talk about it in the morning, but I need you to calm down because you're gonna wake your sisters up, okay? You got this. It'll be okay. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Here are some lessons you have to learn. Ooh, there's a time and season for everything, and I know the long wait can feel unreal. Wondering when you're gonna get what you think you deserve. If you think that's how it works, my friend, it don't. There are many things you have to learn to do before God can release what He has for you. While you're waiting on your blessings, work on yourself. Here are some things that you gotta learn. You gotta learn how to kneel and pray. You gotta learn to not complain. You gotta learn to ignore the mess. You gotta learn how not to stress. You gotta learn to watch your thoughts. You need to learn to watch your mouth. You gotta change what's in your heart so you can handle it. Please understand, God knows what you want, and He also knows what's in your heart. If He give it to you now, you may crash and burn. You gotta learn how to wait till it's your turn. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all the other stuff will be added in time. I'm only sharing with you what I know, because these are some lessons I had to learn. You gotta learn how to kneel and pray. You gotta learn to not complain. You gotta learn to ignore the mess. You gotta learn how not to stress. You gotta learn to watch your thoughts. You need to learn to watch your mouth. You gotta change what's in your heart so you can handle it. While you're waiting, doubt will come. Just remember where your help comes from, 'cause faith without works is dead. You need to go to church so you can be fed. See, trials come to make you strong, but these are the lessons that will help you grow. I'm trying to share with you what I know. Hang on in there. You gotta learn how to kneel and pray. You gotta learn to not complain. You gotta learn to ignore the mess. You gotta learn how not to stress. You gotta learn to watch your thoughts. You gotta learn to watch your mouth. You gotta change what's in your heart so you can handle it. You gotta learn how to kneel and pray. You gotta learn to not complain. You gotta learn to ignore the mess. You gotta learn how not to stress. You gotta learn to watch your thoughts. You gotta learn to watch your mouth. You gotta change what's in your heart so you can hang on in there.
All right, we are back. We are back. Hope you enjoyed that wonderful selection. Look, I said selection like we in church. We're back with Whitney City Podcast talking with Lamikia Davis on this morning. And as promised, we're going to talk about the politics side.
Yes.
And that's one of her many hats in case you didn't catch it in the beginning. So I want to ask you, Lamikia,
Sure.
now, we have this question. We talked about the new administration we're in and talking about all the negative press that we've been hearing in politics now. So in terms of where you serve, the areas you serve in, we want to talk about so you serve as a park forest commissioner now? Okay,
Yeah, I'm a commissioner. I sit on the board of education for Rich Township. So that's with the school. We're two schools right now. Trying to open up another one. We have $100 million budget that we balance. I sit on quite a few boards in politics.
Okay.
I've been to Springfield. I've been honored by both sides. I've been blessed to where, a lot of people don't come into politics. You have to pick a side. And I've been, God has blessed me to where both sides, Republican and Democrat, are in support of me. And you don't get that a lot.
No, you don't.
And I think that just comes with being authentic and just letting your light shine.
What politics?
So a lot of people ask me that, and I was not thinking about it at all. I was already working in the community. I'm actually the 2022 unsung heroine in the 6th district of Cook County. So I was doing work, thank you, in the community already. And because I was so present in my kids' life and in their schools, like I told you, I was being that mom, I was approached and asked, hey, there is an opportunity to sit on a board. So let's go back. I was appointed to the commissioner seat because I worked on a campaign for my then mayor.
Okay.
And I was appointed to that. And then I came back and it was like, the board trustee seat is opening and we want you to run. I said, no, absolutely not, because of the negative stigma in politics. I said, absolutely not. So then same person came back a few months later with another person. They asked me, and I said, absolutely not. And so then probably coming up on a year, it was a gang of people like, okay, look, we gonna have to sit you down and you're the one for this and you're gonna run. So I said, well, let me pray about it. So I talked to my husband, my parents, my pastor, and they all said the same thing. Like, why not? Absolutely, you could do it. And so I was like, okay. And I came back and said, okay, you guys, I'm gonna do this, but these are my this is what we can't do. I don't want any other negative speaking about anyone. What do they call that now when you
when they're running?
Yeah, and it's always something, those hate messages come on the news and all other kind of stuff, the infomercials and stuff. I didn't want any of that. I just wanted to run this race, and if it was for me, then I would go on. And that's what actually happened. I ended up winning on my first try. I had thank you. I won on my first try in 6 cities. And it was an experience. If I could tell you, it was an experience. And me being a new person coming on the scene, I didn't have the support, and someone told me they spent a lot of money to keep me out of office, because people have their agendas. Of course. And their picks. I heard God say as plain as day, you're gonna win. And I won with very little money putting up. I won with no support, none of the traditional support, and what they call was the machine. I beat the machine, right. Well, God beat the machine. Okay. And so I did a lot of stuff based upon how God said it. If he said it, I said, let's do it. If he said don't do that, I didn't do that. And my campaign manager and during that time, we fought a lot because he was like, you got to do this. I said, no, God didn't tell me to do that. And I'm going to do it the way he told me to. You're going to lose. This is what I'm for. That's why you have an expert. And now when I won, the day I won, at that time, my hair was all over my head because I had so many polling places to go to. Okay. And shake hands and speak to people. When I came in, I just saw him at the table looking at the screen, shaking his head. And I was like, am I losing? He said, no, you're winning. Wow. And so that's how it's been that way ever since.
Okay, so they made a believer out of him, huh?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So really, what does that position entail? I mean, I know you mentioned about the budget and all of that, that you're looking at, but what all does it entail?
So the commissioner is basically, we're the leaders in the community, or I am a leader in the community when it comes down to youth and working with the schools and working with they'll call us when something was going on with the kids. Can you reach them? Activities in the community, different things like that, going to the schools, showing up, for the kids on behalf of the youth commission, that kind of thing. Right. And then with the school board, it's basically the day-to-day running the district and the finances. Well, the superintendent runs the district, and we're kind of like his boss. There's 7 of us that sit on the board. Okay. And so we kind of are his bosses.
Wow.
He or she.
Okay. All right. It's a lot, and I take my other hat off to you for even hopping into that position. But with all of this and taking on everything, how did your life change?
I have broken bread with everybody but the president, you know, in politics. And just because I let my life shine, I've been someone who started off as just a mentor, is now a friend in politics, and worked with her, and she's now the clerk, you know, Cook County. And I just, you know, I've met some wonderful people along the way, and loved them and fell in love with a lot of people. And so life has really changed. You know, it's interesting when my husband, he likes going places with me, because when we get there, we're like escorted to the front, you know, or they're like, that's the commissioner, come up here. Or, you know, we're pulling up somewhere driving, and they're, you know, I get escorted a car service, you know, and that kind of stuff. So he likes it. I think he a little more than me, but
right. But it sounds like you have arrived.
I wish.
But you know, there's nothing wrong with that.
One day, people are asking, what are you gonna do after this? And you know, I don't know. I don't know if where I go. I know there's been some things in the pipeline. So that's to be determined.
Because that was gonna be my next.
I felt you. That's to be determined. We'll see.
Because you think, okay, are you gonna stop it here? Are you gonna go further, you know, in politics? Like you say, you've made some connections, and you know, things that would kind of help not only in, you know, the area you live in and that you serve in, but you make connections kind of all over. So
yeah, I have made connections, a lot of them. It's been nothing but favor, nothing but favor. And so I don't know. I can't say it enough. I don't know after what's, and plus you don't really tell anyway,
right,
you know. So
right, exactly.
But soon I guess it'll be God to reveal it. I don't want to do anything outside of God's will.
Right. Yeah. And I was going to say, because she's already mentioned that prayer is first and foremost in her life. And I love how you did, even when you consented to go ahead and run. You said, okay, I don't want a smear campaign. I don't want to do
That's
this.
what it's called, a smear campaign. I couldn't think of that. Yes.
And you stuck to your guns with that. And, you know, some people, they think, okay, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to run it this way. But then when they get into it, you know, like your campaign manager could have had an effect on you. And okay, no, maybe I'll do a little bit of this, but you stuck to your guns. And you see how the Lord brought you.
And I just love God, because he didn't make me out to be a fool. He didn't make me out to be a fool. Right. He saw to his word.
Yes. Well, see, obviously there's something that he needs you to do.
Clearly there is. When that's revealed to me, then I would you know, and maybe it's just to be a light. You know, I have friends in politics that have stopped drinking and smoking and cursing just by me, by being in my presence. So maybe if that's it, then okay, all right, Lord. But you know, maybe that's it. And in politics, it seems like everybody drink, you know, really? And drink heavy. And they're like, you want to drink? No, you know, I don't. What? No, you know, they try to like put that on me. And I'm to God be the glory. I have never given in, you know. So it's just be me. And now people are like, something's different about her.
They're thinking about it. Putting someone in mind. I love that. I love it. So it does not sound like it, but do you have any regrets? Not only in politics, but in your life's journey as well.
If you had asked me this question probably 2 years ago, I would have said yes.
Okay.
But today I would say no, because everything has happened. It's made me who I am. And so if I could change anything, then I can't say I would be the same. So I don't have any regrets.
Okay. Do you think things have moved kind of fast or too fast?
Yes, really fast. Okay. I wouldn't say too fast, but really fast. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And still moving fast, not in just politics, but in business. You know, it's so much going on with that. So many doors are opening, and I'm just trying to keep up with it all. Okay. Just trying to keep up.
That express lane.
I started saying, it's gonna happen so fast that your head will spin. I started saying that scripture, and I was like, my God, it really is happening, you know. And so that's how powerful the tongue is, and speaking what you say, you know. So we have to be mindful of what we say.
Oh my Tell me about it. Yes, we have to be mindful. But thanks for answering that question. Because sometimes people, maybe even watching you,
Mhm.
and watching what you do now, maybe they want to get into politics. I don't know, but maybe
Yeah, I've had some people come to me, especially at my church, and it's like, I have aspirations of doing things in politics. Can you tell me, give me a story and show me where to start, that kind of stuff. I didn't have that.
Okay.
So maybe I'm a consultant for politics or a mentor or something
Could
like
be.
that. I don't know.
What if your children want to go into politics? What would you say?
Everybody says that. They used to call my daughter the president. She speaks so well.
That's you.
She's very fluent in being demure, like that. She's so, and can say something, at the spur of the moment and come up with something just like, wow,
Right.
So everybody, I think she may, who knows? She used to want to be an attorney, and then a judge. And so now she's saying neither one of those, but people call her senator right now. Senator and president is what they call it. They call me that too.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't think that's gonna be my story,
Right,
So,
right. Okay, I see. Okay, so it's Park Forest Commissioner and Rich Township's District 227 Board of Education Trustee.
Mhm.
Those are your positions.
Mhm.
Now, let me ask you a question. Now, how long has it been since you've been in these positions?
So I am let's see, Park Forest is, I want to say 6 years,
Okay.
and only 2 for the trustee.
Okay.
One is appointed, one is elected.
Okay, wonderful. Now, with that in mind, what changes have you seen? Of course, we all have seen a lot of changes in politics, but what changes have you seen yourself since you began your political career?
Oh, that's a great question. So I have, I'm gonna toot my horn as being the chair of the Park Forest Youth Commission, and so we had one of the best youth days ever this past summer. And it grew so much that we had to turn families away, and giving back to school things and clothes and haircuts and braiding hair and all that other kind of stuff. We had all of that, and it was the largest that we've seen in Park Forest, and so that was because of my leadership. I'm working on the safety. That's something that really bothers me because the gun violence right now is terrible. And so that's one of the things I've been trying to see how I can give back more with that. And then as it relates to being a trustee, I'm probably the money's person on the board. I kind of deal with the money and stuff like that, or not necessarily deal with it, but I'm the go-to when a conversation arises about that. Right. And so just giving my expertise in how to budget and manage it, because prior to that, I was budgeting billions of dollars in my 9-to-5. So, it comes a little easy for me.
A little natural.
Yeah, just a little bit.
They got the right one in there. They got the right one. They can rely on you.
Yes.
Wow, that's interesting. Then you mentioned about the gun violence in the area, your area, but it's all over, unfortunately. What would you say to those who are even in other areas that are trying to curb that violence? Do you really have to have programs set up? You want to focus on that to get the youth, off the streets or interested in doing something more constructive?
Absolutely. There has to be programs. And you know what? You'll be surprised that just giving love, showing love would stop a lot of this. Yes. Just realize that that kid needed a hug.
Yes.
Or just needed somebody to listen. And that's kind of been something that I strive to do, and not judge a book by its cover. We see a kid that's being bad or angry and acting out, but why? Let's dig deeper and see what's going on. Because a lot of times it's something going on at home. It's a missing or absent parent, it's abuse. It's a lot of things and post-COVID has really mess with the minds of the people. So, it's not an easy task. And I'm only one person, so it's just, we need more people, especially that love the Lord in politics.
All right.
We need more people. So if I'm making a petition to you all out there listening, if you are a person of faith and love the Lord, we need you in the realm of politics.
I'm glad you said that. I want to throw another quick
Okay.
question in. So we know normally religion and politics don't. Well, it's
That's what they
always
say.
been that it didn't mix.
Mm-hmm.
How do we overcome that now, or how do we look beyond that? Because there is a connection there, and we should not separate.
Well, it's still taboo. You know, it's still a lot of people. It can be weird. I attend a church that embraces it. You know, and so having leadership that does embrace it, it makes it easier.
Yes.
But it said the government shall be upon his shoulder. I mean, what more do you need? It's in the Bible. Deborah was a judge, you know. So it's like if you research people in the Bible, then you know that they were in the government, the part of the government,
Right.
and in Christ.
Okay. All right. So you heard there. You heard it.
And it's so much just discord and things going on to where somebody got to be upright. You know, everybody can't be stealing and fighting. And
Hope not, right.
I have seen so much
Yes.
in the course of the time that I've been in politics.
I can imagine.
And it is. I actually have a intercessory team. I probably a lot of people don't know that, but I have intercessors that pray just about political stuff.
See?
Mm-hmm. Even when I won, one of my intercessors, she was in that when we got back from being at the polls and the numbers was coming in, she was just a warrant, you know. While it was going on, but I was like, okay, girl, come on and pray us through. She prayed all the way through to the polls closing.
See,
and even now praying, you know, it's really, you have to, because it's not. I feel like I'm a strong person, but it's so easy to slip.
Yes,
it's so easy,
right?
And so you gotta have that.
Yeah. Okay, y'all go out and get your intercessory team together for whatever it is that you're working on. I love that. I absolutely love that. So as we're wrapping up today, there are a few more questions I want to ask you. Now, we did talk earlier about your support system or your family. Is there anyone else you kind of want to shout out and tell us about?
Well, my mom, I just saw her. She said hello. Hi, Mom. She's definitely has been a support. She's also an intercessor. My husband, my team, Ashley, Felice, Shawnee, my pastor, Archbishop William Hudson.
Okay.
He has been, you know, he'll say, God said, do this, you know, and I was grateful that I gave him the first experience of, he was there when I was sworn in, and he had that experience. He had never did that before. So I was like, oh, nice. Oh, my paper. But yeah, I was like, yeah, that was really nice. So just having him there, and my aunt and uncles, my entire family. I don't want to start naming names, but everybody has been very, and my grandmother, she is in her 80s right now, and just seeing her smile and be there. She never missed anything, has not missed it since. And I'm grateful that she can see that.
That's beautiful. You got some people working with you, upholding you. I love that, because you know it helps, especially everything you're doing. It helps to have that support system, you know, kind of encourage you along the way. So let me ask you for some encouraging words that you can leave with our listeners, or either individuals who are trying to go into politics, or just youth in general. With this regarding financial literacy, I know there's a lot out there, but if you can just give some words of encouragement out today.
As it relates to financial literacy, please, we are living in perilous times, and definitely having a savings and having someone to help and guide you and lead you in how you should have your money and how much money you should have and what to do with it. You got to have that. Yes. And then as it relates to anything else I do, be brave, be bold. And always put God first, because if you in his will, then everything else after that does not even matter.
Right. Love it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This is wonderful. I am so excited. I have learned a lot from you on today, and I'm sure those who are watching have learned quite a bit. Let's see. I want to read a couple of comments real quick. Gloria Fields says hello. And also she said I was her first intercessor. All right.
Who said that?
Gloria
Oh.
Fields. All right. Well, thank you for interceding. And we appreciate where God has brought you to, what he has brought you from.
Thank you. I appreciate you. And if anybody want to look for me, it's Lamikia Davis Global. Lamikia Davis Global.
And what is that your?
That's on everything.
Lamikia Davis Global.
.com.
All right.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. It's everything.
Okay. All right, guys. If you want to connect with her.
And look, when I put global behind my name, that's when people from all over started calling me for all over the world.
See?
When you put global, I put that thing out in the air before it even happened. I manifested it.
Okay. That's a little bit of advice for you guys. Put global behind it. Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Yes.
Time out to join us on today.
Shout out to Windy City Podcast.
Yes. Thank you all for watching on today. We'll see you next week on Windy City Podcast.
Go to your Apple or Google Play Store and download the WVTC Gospel Radio app today. You can also say, Alexa, play WVTC Radio Skills.
Would you like to play WVTC Radio Network?
Absolutely. Download it today.
Views made on the preceding program are not those of WVTC Radio, iNetworks Communications, or their financial supporters.
Winning victory through Christ, WVTC Allsip Chicago, and iNetworks Communication Station.